Star Citizen's minimum spec. What do you really need to get into this crazy game? The download page now shows what CIG think the minimum requirements are, but this list is unfortunately a tiny bit misleading. So this video will show you what happens if you do try to play the game with a Haswell i7, 16GB of DDR3 RAM and an RX 5060, which has 4GB of VRAM. The 4060 is actually listed on a separate page by CIG as a recommended min-spec GPU, and the RX 5060 is a little faster, but as you'll see, not fast enough. I tested out some stuff in the cities and some basic missions to show you what to expect from CIG's minimum spec, but I then went back into the game with my recommended minimum specs. After 5 years of testing this game, what I recommend. And that should give you an idea of a realistic starting point. Before we begin, it's worth saying that I couldn't get the RX 560 to work at all with Vulkan, the graphics API. Issues with easy anti-cheat. I tried different drivers, just wouldn't work. So I was forced to use DX11, which CIG have said they're going to be removing from the game at some point. So we're really going to have to see how that all pans out and how that affects older cars like this. Anyway, let's dive into the game with what CIG recommends as the minimum spec. We'll start at 1080p, we'll start at native, but I think that's going to be a problem. We've got everything on low. Immediately, the major issue you might see here is that video memory usage is saying in here that this is going to be over 6GB, and we obviously don't have 6GB. But this actually is not that reliable, I think. So this is the hangar. The hangar is a slightly, an easier part of the game. But yeah, we're kind of about 14 FPS in the hangar. Let's use some upscaling first. It won't. The game actually, I don't think will upscale from anything lower than 720p. So if we put it on quality, that'll do that. So that gets us to 1920. What if we were instead of upscaling, just to put the resolution to 720p? Let's see that. Oh, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. 20. Okay, that gives a little bit more. I think realistically we say 720p is, you'd have to drop to 720p basically. How many frames am I getting as I go shopping? Let me buy myself something from here. This isn't so bad so far, to be fair. Remember, shaders will be compiling. I don't think we can buy a spaceship with the amount of money that's on the account. This is the end of the Lowville run that I normally do. This is now, we're at 7 FPS, 8 FPS. That's not ideal. As a new player, you're not going to know anything about the shaders compiling. And so as a new player, you're going to just turn the game on and play. The game doesn't tell you on DX11 that the shaders are doing anything. It doesn't tell you that it's more spiky than it will. Whoa, big spike, big spike. We're not crashed though, to be fair. We're playing as if we were a new player coming to the game with these specs and what their experience would be. Would they immediately quit? Would they persevere, or would they just give up at this sort of performance? I think the problem will be trying to play the game. Might be quite, I mean, this is not easy. 5 FPS, 4 Whoa, no, I'm all over the shop. I can't, the mouse is, I feel like we need to get out. Very hard to steer a spaceship at 5 FPS, I would say. If we can get to this one here and start spooling, I think once we're away from the city, we might see improved performance. All right, here we go. Okay, okay. Right, how many frames do we get in quantum travel? Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Okay, so we're getting a solid 5 frames in quantum travel. So that's definitely GPU. That's not the CPU. So and we can demonstrate that by, if we drop the resolution even lower, the frame rate will go up. So let's drop it. What's the next resolution down from 720p? Shall we go for the glorious 800 by 600? Oh yes, look at that. We're glorious 17 FPS. Yeah, let's drop out and see how many FPS just in the middle of space. What's the lowest 16 by 9 resolution? Because is that the one up from this? What's that? There we go. We're at, what are we at? 1128 by 634. That's in deep space. If we come out of the ship, oh, look at that. We've hit 70 FPS. What? Wow. What's so brutal about this? Look at that graph as we switch. The MFD. This is funny. Turn the ship off. Okay, yeah. Let's turn the ship off. Oh, there's pesky MFDs again. They strike again. I mean, we know that this is a problem normally, but maybe when the specs of your machine are so low, maybe they're even more brutal. Something about, or maybe something about this generation of graphics cards just can't handle the MFDs. So yeah, if you interesting now, there it is. If you look now, right now at the display graph at the bottom, the CPU's at 31 milliseconds, the GPU's at nearly 90, and so we're definitely running into some GPU issues. But I don't think it's the VRAM. I think it's just the GPU so slow. Right, can we land at a station? That's the question. Oh, spiky. Spiky. I think that might be some shader stuff as we come in forever. So let's not hit the station. That would be bad. We're blacked out. Oh, let's not reload at Lawville. That would be bad. Well, it's not enough. As a new player, you have to crash into a space station. That's part of how it works. The problem with CIG's official minimum spec is that everything is a problem. Everything. So the CPU's a problem in parts of the game. The GPU's a huge problem, as we're seeing in a lot of this. And also the RAM itself, it will be not helping as well. And so the combination of all three elements being completely undercooked leads to a pretty awful experience. Okay, that's a fairly successful approach. Just the key is moving the mouse very small amounts. It's very difficult. Very difficult. There we go. Another successful landing. Right, place your bets. Will I successfully complete this mission? I'm at 30 though. Hey, we're at 30 FPS. But the problem is, you might say, oh, this is playable, but to get to here has been almost impossible. I'm going in. I'm going in. Oh no, friend, I'm sorry, I didn't save you. Oh, there's one.
This could be shit.
Oh, there's one there. No.
We're compromised. Yes, we're fighting.
Oh. Uh-oh. 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 Did I have a med pen? Yes, I got one.
I got you covered.
Back to the gun. Oh, there's a big laser. This is scary. Where's he gone?
Find some cover. Guess we're fighting. Contact.
Oh, they're everywhere. Run! No!
Hey, just got interest.
Oh no! Any shooting like when you just don't have a consistent movement of the mouse, it's just a nightmare. Right, so this is a space combat mission at 13 FPS. Hopefully it might improve if we're lucky. I fear it won't. I'm really struggling to control the mouse. He doesn't seem to be moving, so maybe he'll just let me kill him if he's kind. Or maybe he's going to crash into me. They often like to crash into you. Right, here we go. Oh my word. This is... If your eyes were hurting before, I'm sorry. This is not going to be any better. Or maybe if I'm blacked out, it won't be so bad. Where did he go? There he is. Oh! No. We will be here for 100 years trying to kill him, I think. This is going to be awful. I can't even see him. This is bad. This is about as bad as E-level experience in any game. That's it. Stay. It's almost. He's staying still. If I can just adjust my. Oh, he's being kind. He knows I'm struggling. I'm on target. He's given up. This is amazing. If I don't move the mouse, I think this will work. He's decided to give up. We're going to get a nice explosion at 11 FPS at the end of this, hopefully. He's given up playing. Look at that. What gameplay. Oh, dear me. But the conclusion must be that the game is totally unplayable on CIG's official minimum spec. What CIG themselves recommend is an absolute disaster. Let me switch across to what I recommend as the minimum spec. And I've made a fairly significant change. If you're actually new to the game and you're seriously wanting to know what to play the game with, 10400. This hasn't really changed. That's been like that. I mean, you could go for a Ryzen 3600 also. It's got a GTX 1660, just the base model in. The change I've made, I think, after the last video I did about looking at performance for 4.9, I think realistically we now probably, the experience between 16 versus 32 was so significant that I'm gonna officially change my recommendation. I've always been like, you can play the game on 16 gigabytes, but I think the experience is so much better now, and it has been for ages, so much better on 32 that I think at this stage I'm moving to recommending 32 as the minimum. That's the significant change, and we'll do this on Vulkan and we'll do this at 1080p. It's not amazing, but as a minimum to get you in the game, an acceptable level of performance, I think this is much better. Right, here we go. Immediately, we're in a better spot. We're at nearly 40 FPS in the hangar, so this is now what I would recommend as the minimum spec. The hangar, though, itself isn't that challenging. Let's just check what resolution we're at. The question here would be, so it's the same specs, same setup as the other one. Everything's on low. You could, in theory, so we're at 1080p, you could, in theory, put on a bit of upscaling and hit 50. Image quality wise, you've lost a bit. The question will be, yeah, how good are your eyes? Because again, you could just drop it. I mean, but previously on the other one, we were at this resolution, weren't we? And that's jumped it up to 60 FPS almost. So let's take that back though, because we don't want that. You could drop this to 720p, but I think 720, bizarrely, I think 720p looks quite a lot worse than 10. Like, I wouldn't have thought the jump would be quite as significant, but 1080p is quite a significant jump up. So I think for the sake of this, we'll leave it on 1080p. And again, because we're on Vulkan, all the shaders are already optimized. I pre-optimized them to save you having to wait through that. But yeah, we can't do DLSS, so that's a crucial thing. Because it's not an RTX card, the 1660 can still only access CIG's TSR, or it can actually use FSR. And so therefore, it doesn't have, even like the 2060, which is the next card up from here, has access to DLSS, which looks a lot better. But you can see, performance-wise, even when we're running around Lorville, we're going to be around the 30. So you can see we're at 30 now. We will drop below. But as a general experience, you can see this is significantly, it's so much better than what we just tried. So down here, we'll drop under 20 almost. There we go. So there will be parts of the game where you do drop. Like this is particularly brutal thing, look at all these ships, but turn away from the ships and you're at 28, 30. So not perfect, but I wouldn't, if somebody said to me, I've got no money, I want to get into the game on the cheapest possible rig, I would say this is where you'd start. Unfortunately, what is on the website isn't true. And so I think it's good to every now and again just redo this testing and just show what the actual minimum spec can actually do, because like I say, what they tell you, what CIG's own website says, is unhelpful. Let's just quickly prove the point here. If we were to turn the graphics settings from low to, let's just try it on high. There we go. So now the game thinks we're over budget, and actually if you look here, VRAM is now 7 gigabytes out of 5.1. VRAM demoted, and so now you're going to see, I mean, it is optimizing, but we're now down at 15 FPS. Not a great test because it's optimizing, but even without the optimizing, we've run out of VRAM, and so we're in a bit of trouble. If ever you open up display info 3 or 4, I think, and it says VRAM demoted here, you're in trouble. That was basically Ali Brown's summary, and let's just change that back because I want to try this mission on low. So there we go, back to low. So now actually the VRAM might need a second to recover. If you watch, look, the VRAM demote is still saying that we're still at 17 FPS. Hopefully, by the time I land, that will sort itself out. Yeah, you see the VRAM demoted numbers going down, and hopefully FPS is going up a bit. Oh no, I can't see anything. But even at 25, which isn't ideal, it's still relatively playable, I would say. 20. You might argue this is a little low. We're at 39.40. I think this feels a lot smoother. This feels a lot better. Can we reliably move the gun and it not fall to pieces? They didn't spawn in the same place as last time. Right, here we go. There we go. Shoot me in the knees. That'll do. Is there more? Oh. Oh! Save them! Save my buddy! Oh, they're everywhere! Oh dear. Oh no, I killed the wrong guys! I killed the wrong guy! Oh, he's a bad guy. He just ran through us, that's fine. I mean, it's much more playable at 40 than 30. And the performance is just much smoother. Well look, we're VRAM demoted here. This is interesting. So yeah, VRAM demoted. We've got this yellow thing up here. So we've run out of VRAM technically. And we've blacked out. That's not ideal. Let's see if that will recover. Is that the clouds, I wonder? So this is a card on the edge. A 6GB 1660 is very much on the edge. And CIG are recommending 4GB. I mean, doing this at 28, again, let's see if he'll move. Let's see if he'll wake up first. I want to see if I can actually target him at this sort of frame rate. He's not moving a lot, but he is moving. I'll see if I can get him to, oh dear, recover it. To shoot me back at some stage. He's heading for the ground by the looks of things. He's heading for, he's had enough of this fight and he's out. We'll chase him down to the ground. I mean, targeting is doable at 25. It's not perfect. Maybe I'm gonna have to up the. Maybe we need more VRAM. Oh, there he goes. Oh, what a maneuver! Oh, what a maneuver! He's not using his guns, but he's doing some lovely maneuvers. I can definitely like. His maneuvering was too good for me. He wowed me with his flips, and he drew me to the ground. He didn't even need to use his guns. Oh dear, that's embarrassing. So there you go. Hopefully that gave you an idea of what to expect. If you're new to this game, you're just thinking, oh, can my PC play it? Well, if you're anywhere near what CIG is recommending, be aware it's not going to be a great time. Like I said, that recommendation there of the i5-10400 or on the Ryzen side, the 3600, that's where I'd start for a realistic minimum spec CPU. I do think we're now moved to the point where as much as RAM is really expensive, the game is so much smoother and a better experience when you've got 32GB of RAM. So I'm going to now say 32GB of RAM is my recommended minimum for a good experience, or at least a decent experience in Star Citizen. And then graphics cards, well, as you saw there, the 1660, the RAM at points isn't enough. 6GB isn't enough. We're maybe hoping that CIG will continue to optimize RAM usage, but I think if you're wanting to play it really safe, maybe you're looking for a card of 8GB. That one's probably up to you. I'll keep doing some testing. Maybe I'll follow up some more testing on graphics cards again, just to see where we're at. Those are the specs that I'd start with for a minimum. And I suppose this video hopefully is helpful for you as people trying to play the game, but also hopefully I'll speak directly to you, CIG. I'll say again, please, please, please change and update the official minimum specs. It's not helpful to people. I don't know why you've gone quite so low. Maybe again, you're planning to optimize towards the specs that you've got there on the website. I don't know. But for people now trying to play the game, they're just so wildly underpowered. It's not good. It's not good for people. So please, CIG, change it. And that's the end of this one.